Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Regular statutory quarterly meetings for the THA and the Ministry of Justice. Checks received for celebration of religious festivals this weekend. And News 4 turns 1. Thank you for joining us. There will now be regular statutory quarterly meetings among the Tobago House of Assembly and the Ministry of Justice. The word comes following a meeting between THA Secretary Orville London and the Minister of Justice, the Honourable Chrislyn Moore.
THA Secretary Orville London says the meetings are very critical at this time since there are a number of projects, including the Correctional Facility of Hope, which will require close collaboration between the Assembly and the Ministry of Justice.
I must say from our perspective that we are very heartened by the quality of the discussions and of course the commitment of the ministry to ensure that the Tobago House of Assembly is involved in a meaningful manner in all decisions emanating from the ministry.
Minister of Justice Chrislyn Moore says the meeting has been invaluable and provided her team with new insights. This, she adds, will forge the way for a more harmonious justice criminal landscape.
We have, as the Chief Secretary has said, committed to having quarterly meetings with the THA, an important stakeholder in the entire criminal justice system, in no small part because two projects are intended to be cited here. That would be the Hope Correctional Facility and the much-needed Roxborough Court.
The minister says, in addition to that, there are other services provided by the Ministry of Justice, which also will be made available to the people of Tobago.
We have been chatting with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and inviting that office to share space with us in Tobago so that a larger range of criminal justice services would be available on the island. To this end, the Chief Secretary has committed the cooperation of the THA towards this process.
Mr. London says he was very heartened by the quality of discussions and the commitment made by the ministry to ensure that the THA is involved in a meaningful manner. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
In other news, the Ministry of Community Development has once again refurbished another community centre, thereby giving residents of the area a modernized facility to explore their talents and abilities and foster a greater sense of community.
As we officially open the doors of this refurbished centre, let us all be reminded that the very concept of community development stretches far beyond the doors of a community centre. It reaches out to families, parents and children, elderly, the disadvantaged and the marginalized.
The Honourable Minister of Community Development was speaking at the Patna River Estate Community Centre rededication ceremony. Several residents came out to be a part of the function that boasted live entertainment from the area. Construction of the community centre began several years ago, but due to the 1995 snap elections, work was halted and never resumed until the current Ministry of Community Development picked up the project. Member of Parliament for the area, Colm Imber, expressed his pleasure in seeing the completion of the centre that previously lacked a ceiling and an air conditioning system, among other essential amenities.
I am so happy that the centre has been enhanced and brought to this condition. I am so happy. Proper lighting, air condition, proper stage, I am sure the facilities in the back, the changing rooms, the plumbing, the kitchen facilities and so on have been very much enhanced. And I'm very, very happy for the people of this area.
Councillor for the area, Ms. Lisa Mirage, has been praised for the critical role in piloting the completion of the project.
She recognized the need for families and the community to have a place to work together to make the Bagatelle Blue Basin district the best place to live.
Teamwork Construction Limited was contracted to complete the project at just over $1.6 million, which provided for an air-conditioned auditorium with a seating capacity for 200 persons, an instructional kitchen, an improved electrical and plumbing system, and much more.
A lot of money and a lot of time went into refurbishing this place. And I want you to know that the money that went into this is not the government money. Government has no money whatsoever. Government are facilitators responsible for using your money in the right way so that the people would benefit from it. And that is why we are here today in this newly refurbished place for your benefit.
The minister called on the residents to utilize the centre to the best of their ability and ensure its maintenance and upkeep. This was the 24th centre refurbishment that the Ministry of Community Development has embarked upon while under the stewardship of the Honourable Winston Peters. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When we come back, checks received for celebration of religious festivals this weekend. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Citizens are being reminded of the benefits of the Community Mediation Services Program. This as the Community Outreach Mediation Caravan was launched, or that should be launched, in Point Fortin.
This was the third stop for the Community Outreach Mediation Caravan. The caravan was initially launched in Turco in November of 2012. It moved on to Mayaro and then to its current stop at Point Fortin. The caravan is meant to meet with people in communities and let them know about the work of the Community Mediation Program. However, Minister of Community Development, the Honourable Winston Gypsy Peters, says many people are unaware of the benefits of the program. He explains exactly what it is about.
The Community Mediation Program utilizes qualified mediators to handle cases with the highest level of confidentiality, integrity, and impartiality. The staff is trained to assist with dispute resolution, counseling service, and support in family life, and yes, all free of charge.
Minister Peters says the program is ideal for family disputes. He says its effectiveness can contribute to developing an improved nation.
Between January and December 2012 alone, the Point Fortin Mediation Center dealt with over 1,000 clients. The majority of cases, almost 75%, were family related. This means that if you have a long-standing family dispute, you can access these services with experienced professionals. The work of the mediators has resulted in more peaceful, cohesive communities that contribute positively to our nation development.
There are currently 9 mediation centers across the country, including Point Fortin, Cunupia, Arima, San Juan, Couva, and Port of Spain. Community mediation can be used to address disputes in matters including landlord and tenants, merchants and consumers, small claims, threats and harassment problems, neighborhood problems, family and relationship disputes, including visitation rights, access, custody and maintenance, disputes between small contractors and homeowners, community disputes, and juvenile conflicts including truancy and delinquent children. Persons interested in utilizing the service can contact the Community Mediation Services Division at 623-6369. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
There has been a check presentation ceremony for religious organizations and non-governmental organizations participating in the celebration of the 3 religious festivals taking place this weekend.
This coming weekend will see 3 religious groups celebrating within a 4-day period. The highlight of Easter, Good Friday and Easter Monday will sandwich the religious festival of Pagua and Baptist Liberation Day. In recognition of this, the Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism has given checks to assist all the groups related to the 3 celebrations. Arts and Multiculturalism Minister Dr. The Honorable Lincoln Douglas says the timing of these celebrations is testimony to this country's diversity. Diversity which he says should not be viewed as a weakness.
Interestingly, this year, these 2 festivals and religious time has come together and around the same time. That is our Spiritual Baptist Liberation Day and Pagua. And it is interesting also that they've come together around Easter. And it is reminding us about the beauty and the challenge of what it means to live in Trinidad and Tobago. It is our diversity that makes us strong, and it does not weaken us. It is our insularity and our smallness of ideas that makes us use our diversity to weakness.
Dr. Douglas insists that this is testament to the government's stance of building a united, developing society.
It is our hope that none of our beliefs or our ethnicity would work in any way to be harmful or hurtful to others or to the nation. And it is not the government's position that one ethnicity or religion is more superior to the other. We are here to validate a Trinidad and Tobago that is unified, harmonious, and progressive.
The Arts and Multiculturalism Minister says the government will continue to support the organizations and institutions responsible for the development of the country's culture.
From the ministry standpoint, that we value all the various cultures in Trinidad and Tobago that make up this culture that is Trinidad and Tobago. We value the people that represent these ideas and the contribution that they should make to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. We value the people who continue to work in the area of culture and cultural work, because we do believe also that the culture is the fundamental and the most foundational thing of any society. And so, from our standpoint, it is an honor and a privilege to participate with you on these occasions. We continue to do so because we do believe that this is the foundation of our society and should be supported at all costs.
However, he is reminding the organizations which received financial support of their obligation to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
We trust that what we give you today will help in the work that you do in supporting good causes, that you would be responsible, effective, and efficient in the grants that you receive, and that you would be accountable to the people within your organization and to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because it is their money. It's not the government's money, it's not our money. It is the people of Trinidad and Tobago's money. And we hope that we all would be accountable and report back to the ministry and give an account of your stewardship. Because it is in the delivering of our stewardship that we find the necessary blessings to continue and to go on with our work. Because unto whom much is given, much is expected.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Sport is up next as we get ready for Trinidad and Tobago versus Peru. Trinidad and Tobago senior men's football team will face Peru in a friendly encounter tonight. The game comes on the heels of the team's away 0-0 draw with Belize on Saturday.
The team traveled to Peru via Miami on Sunday with 1 day to rest and 1 day to train before the game. The friendly international takes place at the Peru National Stadium in Lima. The Peruvians will be seeking a win as they are still on a high following their 1-0 victory over Chile at the same venue on Friday. The win ensured that Peru kept their hopes alive for the 2014 World Cup qualification. Meanwhile, the TNT footballers will be looking for revenge as TNT lost 2-0 the last time these two teams met at the Atobolan Stadium in Couva. TNT's hopes for a win will be bolstered by the Peruvian head coach's decision to use the match to look at some of his fringe players. Peru's star striker and Bayern Munich hitman Claudio Pizarro and other stars such as Ronaldo Cruzado and Juan Manuel Vargas have all been excused and have already returned to their clubs. TNT's focus on the game is physical and tactical preparation for the Gold Cup in July. The game kicks off at 10 p.m. Trinidad and Tobago time. Good luck to our Soca Warriors. Gregory McBurney, News 4 Sports.
When we return, regional corporations work closely with the ODPM. Last Wednesday's emergency drill by the ODPM saw regional corporations in charge of areas along the country's western coast also spring into action. Stakeholders in areas as far as Couva play their part in ensuring their community is ready should a natural disaster hit this country.
Are there anyone else evacuated from the area?
The Couva Tabaqui Talparo Regional Corporation was one of the organizations which partook in Exercise Omega, an earthquake tsunami drill organized by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management. The evacuation drills were aimed at gathering information on the public's response to natural disasters for the ODPM. Some of the institutions involved in the Couva area included the Couva Chamber of Commerce, the Public Transport Service Corporation, the corporation's Transport Division, Engineering Division, the Couva Disaster Management Unit, and the Carly Bay Community. Surendranath Ravi Ramnath, the Disaster Management Coordinator for the Couva Talparo Tabaqui Regional Corporation, says he believes the drill was a success.
The community of Carly Bay who have participated in the program, I think it was a tremendous success because lots of people realized they're very near to the sea, and as a result of that, a tsunami could be generated. So they were very, very much interested.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Couva Talparo Tabaqui Regional Corporation, Dave Prasad, says the drill was needed, particularly as there are also many other challenges which the area faces.
This area is very prone to many things apart from tsunami generated or act of God generated natural disasters like tsunamis and so on, and perhaps earthquake. We are in the bosom of the Point Lisas Industrial Estate, and we are under tremendous challenges here, both in terms of we have underground pipelines, natural gas pipelines, plus we have large industrial units here that are prone to major accidents.
Prasad says, all things considered, there should be another drill, this time focusing on procedures in the event of a disaster of that nature.
We should have some similar exercises in terms of gas leaks, in terms of explosions, and in terms of these kind of related incidents that can generate tremendous amount of damage, both human and capital and property. We need to have those kinds of exercises also done in this region because of our proximity to the Point Lisas Industrial Estate.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Chief Executive Officer of the Government Information Services Limited, Andy Johnson, says discussions are ongoing to make the News 4 product a continued success. Speaking on the first anniversary of News 4, Mr. Johnson thanked those whom he said contributed to making the project such a tremendous success.
Exactly 1 year ago, over 20 persons were welcomed on board GISL to undertake the newest venture, the production of a daily newscast on government's day-to-day achievements. The excited employees were extensively recruited for their new responsibilities, with several workshops and orientation sessions. For the first 3 months, quality news stories were being thrown out to fill an entire half-hour newscast on a daily basis, with only 2 reporters on board. The news finally came off the ground and onto the airways on March 26, 2012.
Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to the first edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines.
The country was now given the opportunity to see its government in action. GISL's CEO, Andy Johnson, says a product of this nature was long overdue but well embraced by many.
Really surprises me the extent to which very, very early after we kicked off how the responses were, the hit, if I may say so myself, that we seem to have made with members of the public, because it was something that appeared to be wanted by a lot of people. There are a lot of people who voted for the government in office, and they seem to appreciate what we started out trying to do with getting information about the government's daily activities on. It was unique in the sense that this is the first time there has been a daily newscast, more or less, on focusing essentially on government activities.
In fact, he says he believes that the product has not just achieved its intended purpose, but has even stretched beyond what was expected.
There's nothing that challenges success as a success itself, because what has happened now is that there isn't a government ministry or division or department even or agency that is not continuing to call on us for our support and coverage of all kinds of events, so that you would know that there's a challenge really in meeting those demands and in measuring up to the requests that we get all the time, and manipulating the grid, as we call the product that we put out every day, based on what we know government ministers are proposing to do on a day-to-day basis.
It was, however, no joyride. The challenges were many. But things got better. 3 new reporters were soon added to the team, and the creativity spanned. Mr. Johnson is today commending the team for a job well done.
I want to take my hat off 1,000,000 times to the members of staff, you all who have risen to the challenge to a great extent, beyond expectations in a lot of ways, and to a great extent. Working under, because you would remember when we started out, we had to hurriedly get the thing together, given the mandate that I had to get it going by this time last year, and the short period of time we had to do the recruitment, to get the equipment, and to lay down the infrastructure to get it together. And for those first few weeks we worked under, we all, as a matter of fact, worked under tremendous stress and strain and pressures to get it going, get the kinks out, and establish a product that now is well respected from the reports that I gather from you all in the field, and from the feedback that we get here at GISL.
The CEO was asked to reveal what viewers and the country by extension can look forward to in the future for the News 4 product.
Right now I can tell you that I'm in some discussions with communications people elsewhere in the government, and we're talking about the extent to which we can look at tweaking and improving the product in some ways that would make it even more sort of user-friendly and customer-friendly, focusing more on the responses of the people to what the government has been putting down in their name over these last, 3 years now. So to find ways to be even more creative than we have been thus far, and to reach a resonance to a greater degree with the public that is Trinidad and Tobago.
Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. Happy anniversary, News 4. I'm Nicola Barito. Thank you for watching.